guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a freaking funny story time of how this girl knocked my front tooth out. And if you guys are wondering how this all went down, make sure you guys stay tuned to catch up the story because it is very funny and juicy. This story did take place while I was in high school, so in honor of me telling a high school story, I just decided to throw on this football jersey that we would normally wear during game days. It's so freaking cute or whatever. I think I paid like 60 bucks for it, but that's beyond the point. I'm just gonna tell you guys the story wearing this stupid high school jersey that I haven't worn since I was in high school, okay? So crazy. Alright, so just to give you guys a little bit of background history to this story, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, I did have messed up teeth. My teeth were not straight all my life. I wasn't born with nice, perfect teeth. It was actually the opposite. I was born with the most messed up teeth anyone could ever imagine. Like, my teeth were crooked in every way, like literally. My teeth were so messed up, it was not even funny. Like, I had to have braces for 4 years, and in different settings. Like, it wasn't just a whole 4 years. It was like constantly taking my braces off, putting them back on. Like, so freaking crazy. So my teeth were jacked up, and this story actually took place before I had braces. So my teeth were messed up, child. They were just messed up. They were janky, okay? Remember that. Another thing that you guys need to know about this video is my mom actually put me in volleyball when I was around, I want to say 8th grade. So from 8th grade to I want to say my junior year, my sophomore year of high school, I was playing volleyball. I was playing competitively and I was playing for my high school, okay? So on this particular day, this is the story, this is where the story happens. I was playing volleyball and I was a middle hitter. I'm a middle hitter, that was my position. And I played middle hitter my whole volleyball career. Like, I was middle hitter and I was left hitter, though I was never right hitter, because right hitter is like the perfect position. Everyone, like the really good people, get right hitter. So I was left hitter and I was middle hitter, but I was more, my main position was more middle hitter and front blocker. So I know you guys are wondering, like, how could she be middle hitter? Like, she's so freaking short. Yes, I am 5'5", but your girl got the hops on her, okay? I had the bunnies and I was able to get up there. So this particular day, it was a weekend and we were at a high school tournament, okay? And so basically, if you guys don't know about volleyball, tournaments last freaking forever, and there's always more than one game going on at a time. So at this time, it was 4 games going on, but I was in one gym where there were 3 games, and then it was a smaller gym where there was just 1 game. But I was in the gym where there were 3 games going on at this time, and it was like a game going on the first court, and then a game going on in the middle court, and then a game going on the last court closest to the smaller gym where the 4th game was going on at. I was playing on the 3rd court, and I was playing on the 3rd court back court. So we were on this side and the other team was on, you know, the front side. So me and the right hitter, so me and the right hitter were going up for a block, you guys. And it's so freaking crazy because this story time is short, but it's so freaking funny. We were going up for a block and she was like 6'1". I want to say, like, this girl was freaking tall as freak. Like, she was so tall and I was just 5'5", maybe even 5'4" at the time. I was shorter than her, way shorter than her, and we were both going up at the same time. And so we both went up and our 1, 2, 3 approach, and then we went up to block it, right? We blocked the ball or whatever, and we went to come down to turn around because we had an ace or whatever, which means the ball had dropped. So we went to turn around and she literally elbowed me with her left elbow. She came down. So because she was taller than me, so she was like 6'1", I'm probably exaggerating, she was probably like 5'8", 5'9", but she felt so freaking tall. You guys, she felt so freaking tall, because how could this ever happen? So when she's coming, I had already made it down to the floor. My feet were on the ground, planted. I was good to go. She's still coming down and literally she just boom, and then like just hits me. But we were so happy that we had blocked the ball, you guys. Like, we did not, like, it just wasn't clicking, okay? I didn't feel anything. Like, my adrenaline was high as ever. So we turn around, we're like, like, we do our hand claps or whatever. You guys know the volleyball stuff. Like, it was so lame. And so we turn around or whatever, and we're continuing to play. We're like, we're still playing or whatever. And so on the court next to me, on the middle court backside. It was one of my girlfriends who I actually had known from playing club ball, and she was like, Jasmine, and I'm like, what? Like what? Like I hear her calling me, but I'm like playing, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like playing, and then I believe someone had subbed me in, so you know that means that another middle blocker had went in, and I was standing on the side, and I believe she was playing. I don't know. You guys, I don't freaking remember. I have the worst memory, but I don't remember how or what she was doing, but I remember she was calling my name. She was like, Jasmine, Jasmine. I'm like, what? Like what? I'm watching the game, trying to see like what my teammates are doing and stuff, trying to see if we're gonna get this block, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, Jasmine, no, you need to turn around. She's like, you're bleeding, you're bleeding. And I'm like, I'm bleeding where? Where am I bleeding? She's like, your tooth, your tooth. I'm like, what? I'm like doing like this, and then I see blood. And you guys, this girl, after this incident, she was not my friend anymore, because she just started laughing in my face. She was like, ha 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 ha. She was like hitting other people like, oh my god, look, look, look. And so I'm laughing because I'm one of those type of people where either I'm gonna laugh or I'm gonna cry. And I didn't want to cry because, you know, it was just so much emotion going on. Like me and my team, we were doing good. We just hit a good block, you know. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna cry, so I'm gonna laugh. So I'm laughing, laughing, laughing. She's like, no, you need to go to the bathroom right now. And I'm like, girl, it's nothing. Like, I just got a busted lip, like whatever, whatever. She grabs my arm and she's like, no, you need to go to the bathroom now. She's like, grab your phone, grab your phone. And you guys, I don't know where my mom was. I don't know where she was at, but it was like kind of late at night too. And so she's like, grab your phone, grab your phone. So all I remember was like, I can't grab my phone. So we were just running out to the bathroom. And mind you, we're on the far end of the court, like of the gym. So we're like running past all of these games and stuff, and people are still playing. Like no one's paying attention to us at all. I don't even know where our coaches were. They were just, I don't even know. So we had ran out to the bathroom, and I had went into the bathroom, and I had seen in the mirror, you guys, tooth gone, like gone. Like there was no bone, no, it was just literally an empty space. I'm like, who done got my tooth? Like the Grim Reaper that came and took my tooth. So I'm like, oh my god. And I'm thinking like, dang, it must have been when we came down from the block, because I did remember, like slightly remember, that she did elbow me. So I'm like, huh. And so me and her, I'm like, oh my god. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna go look out for your tooth on the court. And she's just laughing, it's so funny. So I'm like panicking now. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what do I do? Because I was already insecure about my teeth to begin with, because they were so messed up and I didn't have braces. Like, hello. And it wasn't the fact that I didn't have braces because I couldn't afford them, because I have really good insurance. It was just the fact that my teeth were not falling out quick enough. And I had so many, I think they pulled, I want to say about 9 teeth from my mouth for me to get braces. So they were just like trying to wait for my teeth to fall out, opposed to pulling them out and me having like a whole bunch of gaps within the wires of my braces. Y'all, this girl ran back on the court floor and told like all of the games to stop, and that I had lost my tooth. So I come back in the gym and everyone's like, stop, balls are dropped or whatever. Like refs are looking around, players are looking around. It was so freaking embarrassing. And everyone was on the floor, and you guys, I can't, like, in volleyball there's this game, I forget the game that we used to play, but as blockers you used to play this game where you like crawl on the floor, and then like when the ball comes over the net you have to pop up and you have to like go and, you know, pop it back over or block it or set it or whatever. And so everyone literally looked like they were playing this game. I think the game's like called Snakes and something, I don't remember, but everyone looked like they were playing the game because everybody was on the floor looking for my freaking tooth. Everybody. It was not a secret at this point. Everybody knew that my tooth was out of my mouth and that they were looking for it. It was so freaking embarrassing. And so everyone was looking for my tooth. Now, mind you, it was 3 courts in the gym playing tournaments, playing games. I was on the 3rd court. Okay, I'm on the 3rd court and I'm like closer to the end of the court. So I'm closest to like the right side of the court, closer towards the other side of the gym, because I'm a middle blocker. If I was on the left side, you know, then it would kind of be like closer to the middle court, but I was closest to the end court. You guys, this tooth traveled from the far end of the 3rd left back court all the way to not the 1st court, but past the 1st court, like back by the bleachers. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. So you guys, now mind you, if the tooth traveled from the last court all the way to back behind the bleachers, that clearly means someone had kicked it. It had flew up in the air, might have hit someone. Like, let's not forget that factor. Like, it might have hit someone. And then to make matters worse, it would have been easier if the tooth was like in the middle court, front and center. Someone drops down on the floor. Oh, I found your tooth. You guys, we were searching for this tooth for like
20 minutes later.
10 freaking minutes we were searching for this tooth. So during the 10-minute time period, I remember I didn't grab my cell phone. We were in like a school. So in the school they had like a telephone, and I had ran upstairs and I had called my mom, and I'm like telling her, I'm like, Mom, like my tooth just fell out. She's like, stop playing. Stop playing. My mom is so freaking funny. If you guys don't watch my vlogs, you will not understand how freaking funny my mom is. My mom was like, stop playing, stop playing. Oh my God, and she hung up on me. She hung up in my face, y'all. So I'm like, you know what? Let me call my grandma. So at this time, I called my grandma, and my grandmother actually lived like 800 miles away from me. It wasn't like my grandma could just come to the school and pick me and the tooth up. Like, no, my grandmother actually lived so freaking far. And I'm calling my grandma like, hey grandma, like I just, you know, knocked my tooth out playing volleyball. And my grandma thought it was funny too. My grandma's like, and I'm like, really? Really, this is not funny. Like, this is life or death. Like, did they not understand that teeth are like the most important part of your face? And I was just so freaking pissed. I was like, you know what? So I hung up on my grandma and I called my mom back. I was like, Mom, like, we need to go to the dentist right now. Mind you, you guys, it was late at night and it was on a weekend. My dentist was closed. Like, it was closed, letting it be a weekend, okay? But on top of that, it was at nighttime, and I want to say it was around like 8 o'clock at night, because you guys know volleyball tournaments do last all freaking day long, okay? They last forever. And so my mom was like, what do you mean you knocked your tooth out? What do you mean? What do you mean? And I'm like, the tooth is not in my mouth. Like, what are you talking about? You need to come up here and get me. Like, at the time, I couldn't drive. You know, I was 14, 15 years old. And so my mom was like, oh my gosh, Jasmine, I hope you're not lying to me. I hope you're not being over dramatic. She's like, I'm coming up to the school right now. She's like, I better see a tooth outside of your mouth or you're going to be in big trouble. Da, 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 da. So I'm like, bye. And I hang up. And I'm like, who would joke about something like that? Like, that just didn't make sense to me. Like, who would lie and say, oh yeah, I knocked my tooth out? Like, that's like the worst lie ever. And so then in the meantime, one of my volleyball coaches, she actually ran to like the cafeteria and grabbed me like a carton of white 2% whole milk. I don't know, y'all. Don't quote me, because I don't drink cow's milk, so I really don't even know what kind of milk it was, but I know it was milk. And she like put the tooth in the milk. And you guys, when we seen the tooth, I don't know about nobody else, but when I seen the tooth, I was just like, my heart sank, because it wasn't just like the normal tooth. Like, you know when you're like little and your tooth is like wiggling and you pull it out or whatever, and it's like a small little cute tooth? No, y'all, it was not small at all. It was a big tooth. And it had a big freaking root. So I'm like, the tooth was probably like this big. And if you guys know, you only see about this much tooth. You only see like a little bit of tooth. It was a big tooth. The tooth was big and the root was even bigger. And so I'm like, oh my God, like my heart just sank, because I'm like, now I have this big old gap in my mouth, this hole, and no tooth in it. So my mom comes to the school and I'm walking up to her and I give her the carton of milk. She's like, what's this? What's this? And I'm like, my tooth is in there. And she was like, oh my gosh. She opens it up and I open my mouth and she's like, oh my God. My mom was just like mind blown. And so she was like, how did this happen? How did this happen? She's like, who knew volleyball was so dangerous? She was like, oh my God, you have knee pads, you have elbow pads. She was like, now you need a mouth guard. And my mom was just so freaking dramatic, you guys. She was just so extra. And so then she had called the dentist, and he had, you know, since they were closed, it said, you know, if this is an emergency, they had his personal phone number. And so thank God he put his personal phone number on there. So my mom had called the personal phone number, and I think he was like out with his kids, y'all. He was like having father-daughter kid time. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna come to the shop right now and meet me there in 10 minutes. He was like, make sure the tooth is in milk. And we were like, yeah, it's in milk, da-da. And so he's like, we should be able to restore it since it's in milk. So if you guys ever lose your tooth or get your tooth knocked out, put it in milk, because I think that's like something good, okay? It saves your tooth. So we get to the shop and he's like, we're gonna have to do emergency surgery right now. There's nothing else we can do about it. We have to put this tooth back in her mouth now. So mind you guys, again, my teeth were messed up already. Like, they were not straight. They were spitting raps. So he was like, well, if I put the tooth in straight, then that means, you know, when she puts the braces on, the tooth is gonna move around and it's gonna alter. He was like, so maybe I should just put the tooth back in the way that it was, so it can like naturally move with the rest of my teeth when I get the braces. made sense back then. So he put the tooth back in, and I had to get like a root canal done that night because all the nerves and everything were done. Like, it was gone because the whole root of the tooth that came out. So everything was gone, and I had to get a root canal. And shortly after the root canal, I did get an infection because it was like gone. Like, we were literally putting the tooth back into my mouth, hoping that it would reconnect to the nerves and stuff like that. I don't think it ever did. It never did. So I know you guys are wondering, like, did he just stick the tooth back in her mouth? Girl, no. He actually put glue. He put glue to both sides of the tooth, and it had to connect on each side of the other teeth next to it. So at the time, I'm thinking that's so cool. Fast forward, maybe I want to say a week later, the girl who actually knocked my tooth out, she was so, like, bless her heart, y'all, bless her heart. She was so shy and quiet, but she played volleyball and she was a hitter. So she couldn't have been so shy because she had a lot of anger built up because she was spiking the ball like crazy and blocking it like crazy too. So she was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, Jasmine, I feel so bad. Literally, like, that's how she talked. She was so soft spoken. I was like, oh, it's okay or whatever. And I just remember, like, her every day after, like, school, after practice, because we got study hall as well, she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, girl, it's okay, it's alright. If I would have known then what I know now, I would have been pissed. I would have popped her tooth out. Because later, when I decided to get braces, you guys, this is the reason why I had to have braces more than one time. Because the way that the doctor put the tooth in and the way that he bonded it to each tooth on the side of it, the tooth wasn't moving. So my orthodontist was so freaking old. He was like past dirt, okay? He was like 130, like literally. And he was like trying to move my teeth around because that's his job. But he decided that he wanted to focus on this tooth the last month of me having braces. So everything was so freaking straight and everything. But on the last month, he actually decided that he wanted to move this tooth. So he had me wearing a wire rubber band on, like, connecting. It was this tooth, by the way. This one. So he had me wearing a rubber band from this tooth down here to this one. So it was like pulling it or whatever. And literally within like a week span, the tooth had moved. But as soon as I got them braces off, y'all, I couldn't even wear my retainer at night. No matter how faithful or religiously I wore my retainer, because the bonding was so much stronger than the actual bones in my mouth, which are my teeth, the bonding would make it move back the way that the dentist had put it in. So no matter what the orthodontist did, the tooth was still shifting back to its original spot where the dentist had shoved it back in my mouth and glued it there. You guys, I tried to get this tooth fixed so many times, but it was not freaking working. So literally, this tooth is it's at an angle, so all of my teeth are like this, but this tooth sticks out like that, and it's so freaking annoying. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's annoying, okay? So yeah, that was the time that the girl knocked my tooth out, and to this day I still don't feel like she was really sorry. I just feel like she was just saying it because it was the nicest thing to say at the moment. I do think I want to get veneers at this point because if the tooth's not moving, it's not moving. And my dentist, he's actually like recommending me to get a fake tooth, but I'm just like, nah, I ain't with it. So I'm so scared because they'll have to put like a screw in my mouth and stuff like that, and it's just like so freaking annoying. But I know whatever I get done, it will have to be soon because this tooth is not holding on much longer, you guys. It's holding on by a thread. Like, I can't even eat certain foods because I feel like it's gonna fall out. And then I'm gonna have another story time about the second time my freaking front tooth fell out. So it's just so freaking tragic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big fat thumbs up. If you guys have had any like traumatic things happen to you like this, leave it down in the comment section below. I want to have a good laugh too, and I'll see you guys in my next video.